Welcome back to the channel, to the Power of Sacrifice, Episode 3, 8 weeks out edition. And this is where shit starts to get real. This is where we kick it up into high gear. And as we move forward into 7, 6, 5 weeks out, all the way down to show day, it's just gonna get harder and harder and harder. So remember this face. As we get closer, I'm gonna look more like a corpse than an actual human. So enjoy that. In this video, I'll be going over weekly changes and new implementations to my regime moving forward, right? Starting from my meal plan, my cardio protocol, supplements, and steroid compounds. Then I'll be giving you a physique update, followed by a chest and back workout, 5 a.m. of course. I've been in the 5 a.m. club for almost 2 years now. I wouldn't have it any other way. And lastly, I know in the last video, in the comments, you guys wanted to know what I take for supplements. So I broke down all of the list of supplements that I take. So now let's start off with the meal plan changes. So meal 2, as you know, it was 150 grams of rice. Now it's all the way down to 100 grams of rice. Less carbs, and we're forcing essentially the body to run on fats. It's a little bit difficult. However, it is what it is. I'm willing to suffer. I'm willing to sacrifice what I want in this moment for what I really want in the future, which is a great physique. The 10 calorie sauces per serving have been removed. I only have 5 calorie sauces left over. Cardio protocol. 9 weeks out, I was doing 40 minutes fasted cardio before workout at 10 incline, 3 speed on the treadmill. Now, for 8 weeks out, the cardio went down 5 minutes, fasted cardio. However, I do now have stairs post-workout, 35 minutes at 8 speed. So overall, hour and 10 minutes of cardio every single day, even on off days. So this cardio is unavoidable. What happens is burning more calories and eating less calories, therefore forcing the body to utilize every single ounce of fat stores possible for energy. And as you can imagine, that is really difficult. The body wants to eat, and I'm not giving it any food. So promoting extreme fat loss. New supplement additions. So these are the things that my coach added to my plan. The first thing I take in the morning now is a fat burner before my cardio. So before I have my water, like before I have my coffee, I take a yohimbine, which I will talk about later, a fat burner right before cardio. It basically wakes me up, gives me a little good kick, gives me energy for the day. It stimulates fat burning effects. It's a thermogenic. So I do that on the cardio, 35 minutes. It's freaking amazing. And then I take a second fat burner now for the second round of cardio, which is post-workout. And also with that, I like to add my Clen, which is my asthma medication. I think you'll see it in today's chest and back workout, how that goes. Lastly, what I introduced was 2 new oral compounds. The names are Anavar and Winstrol. So Anavar is great for building muscle, right? It's an anabolic. It gives me strength on low food in particular, which, like, as you can imagine, food gives us strength. So if you don't have a lot of food, you're not gonna have a lot of strength. So I'm gonna take a steroid to help me with that, still keep my performance up at the gym, especially when it comes to getting bigger and growing into this prep. For Winstrol, Winstrol is also an anabolic. However, I'm taking it for the cosmetic effect, the drying of the skin, right? Thinning and drying of the skin that gives me a specific look on stage. Moving on to physique update for 8 weeks out, so you can see the changes that happen from 9 weeks to 8 weeks. So you will see the difference of like 4 to 5 days in body fat. I think this is the most consistent light that I can find in the house, natural light. And I think moving forward, I'll be doing all the physique updates in here. Welcome back to my kitchen. As you can see, I'm setting up here to tell you all about the fuck ton of supplements I take every single day, twice daily, most of them. But before we talk about these supplements, enjoy my chest and back workout where I walk you through one of the greatest workouts ever caught on film. Good morning, everyone. Here we are for another 5 a.m. shoulder session. Today is Thursday, 8 weeks out. Getting ready to blast these shoulders. I'm excited. I haven't hit them in about a week. And as you can tell, they need some improvements. As Arnold likes to say it, I like to slap on some clay and make my shoulders cap. But anyway, today's workout will consist of entire shoulder workout. So front delt, side delt, and rear delt. First, what I like to do before every single shoulder workout is warm up. Warm up with mobility movements, make sure my rotator cuff is loose, is warm, the blood is in there, the joints and ligaments know that we're about to go through a training session, so I want to give them all the right signals, letting them know, hey, get ready, we're about to blast these delts, I need all the support I can get. So what I like to do for that is, first, I like to get in this position and do these forward, about 10 of these, forward rotations like that, nice and slow, all the way in, all the way out. Oh, fuck. Especially in the morning, you know, when we wake up, like we're just so tight from the body not moving for hours. So we want to break that rust, you know? And this is the best way to do it. So I'm going to do 10 forward, 10 backwards of the same. And then I will do some side to side movements and you will see what I mean by that. The way that I know I did the warm-up right is my shoulders are burning. There's so much blood in here right now. They're so hot. They're like fired up. And that's how I know I'm ready to go. And I'm actually able to get into the second warm-up phase, which is with dumbbells. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a 10 or a 15-pound dumbbell and we're just gonna go nice and easy, smooth with the reps. We're gonna do 10 front raises, 10 side raises, and then 10 rear delt raises. Woo. Oh yeah, the blood is in there. I can already feel it. My shoulders are primed and ready to get going. This is the number one thing that I've seen to work for me, especially getting a good warm-up, and it eliminates all the cracking and tweaking my shoulders normally do. Very, very safe. It's very, very effective. I would say it's mandatory because the last thing I want is some sort of shoulder injury that's gonna prevent me from being able to train my entire upper body, right? So then the only thing I could do is just legs until I can heal up and then be able to go back to training again. Starting with the first exercise, it's gonna be front and side lateral raises, 3 sets of 15, 15. So this is gonna be pretty much a superset. We're gonna do 15 front raises, nice and smooth and controlled, and then we're gonna do 15 side lateral raises. So here's the form I focus on to target my front and side deltoid the most. I wanna shift my balance here so then I can hold stable when the center of gravity, when the weights push my center of gravity forward and I'm able to squeeze. And as I'm coming up, I bring the weights a little bit together to my eyesight, and that contracts the front delt the most. And we want to repeat that motion over and over again to break down as much muscle fibers as we can, or as many. Then for side lateral, I see plenty of people do this thing wrong. they do this, they do this, they do that. Like for side lateral, what we want to do is chest out, back straight, and then we want to rotate our deltoids like this. Picture like you're pouring like a pitcher of fucking, I don't know, tea into a cup, like this. So here's what we want to do. So what happens is we're pushing this front deltoid to be in the highest position. So now when we're lifting with this deltoid. And when we go like this, now the highest position is the front deltoid. So even though we're moving to the side, still training front delt. That's why people don't have side delts, because they're training their front delt all the time. Here's how that would look like. Chest out, back straight, pushing my deltoids forward. And then from here, I'm lifting with my elbows. I've imagined I have hooks attached to my elbows pulling me from the ceiling. So here's how that looks. Okay, now moving on to front delt. And now we do a flex set. Two. Okay. So what that flex set does is when the muscle is the most fatigued and the most vulnerable state, we flex and we push as much blood as we can in there to force that even more tension, which means more muscle fiber breakdown, and ultimately that will yield more growth. Because when we come to the gym, we get smaller here. We get bigger on the off days when we have enough protein and when we rest. That's when the muscle fibers grow and get bigger. Here, we get smaller by breaking them down. Yeah, that's how that works. And that's what we want to do. We want to break down as much muscle fibers as we can. And in order to achieve that, or the best way to achieve that, in my experience, is time under tension, proper form, intensity, and I've learned this recently, flex sets. Doesn't have to be after every set, but I like to incorporate at least 1 or 2 flex sets with every single exercise that I do. All right, now moving on to dumbbell overhead shoulder press. This exercise, we're gonna do it seated, and the goal is to be able to basically destroy the front delt. That is the entire goal. Create as much tension as we possibly can to basically, and then like get a good stretch down here, and then a good squeeze. The split is 3 sets, 15, 12, 10. As the reps drop, we'll be increasing the weight. For 15, we're gonna start with something lighter, something like 50 or 55 pounds, and then we're gonna progressively overload as the reps drop. Oh yeah, that was it. That was it. Like 50 pounds when done right. The weight doesn't have to be heavy in order for me to make it feel heavy. Literally all it comes down to, mind-muscle connection, pushing, thinking about the muscle, how it contracts, how it stretches, and just envisioning the best shoulders I can possibly envision. Like I'm talking about Phil Heath, Kevin Levrone, like all these old school bodybuilders with the best 3D shoulders, and I'm thinking about them, and I'm like, yeah, those are my front delts. And I'm able to develop mind-muscle connection, and then blast them with the fucking set, and they're just growing. They have no other fucking choice. So now moving on to the next set. Now we're doing 12 reps, and we're using 55 pounds. So we started with a 50, we moved up 5 pounds, and now we're gonna try to do 13. And if I make it to 12, good. Woo! 12 and a half. Hearing my mind tell me, oh, you're done, you're finished, you can't do anymore. And then me choosing not to listen to that and choosing to go against it is one of the most gratifying, satisfying feelings, because I know I'm in control. Not this son of a bitch. It's me, motherfucker. It's called self-mastery. Moving on to the last set. This will be a set of 12, or I'm sorry, set of 10. And then we're moving up to 60 pounds for shoulder press. And let's see if we can, my aim is to get 11. So let's see what we can do. As you can see, that was way too heavy. So now I'm gonna do a drop set. I'm gonna drop 20 pounds. And then get those 3 lost reps. Oh, fuck. All right, moving on to the next exercise. All right, so moving on to barbell upright row superset with single arm cable front raises. So basically what this comes down to is we're gonna grab this barbell, we're gonna be rowing in this direction, the elbows being the highest point, right? We don't wanna do this or this. Basically, this is the movement that we want. Right here, that trains the front delt and the side delt. From there, we're gonna come here, grab this, and we're gonna do single arm 10 reps of front raises, as such. And that will target the entire front delt, destroying it. Let's get into it. So now we want to aim for our hand to be right in the center and then come up to our eyesight level. Whew. So what happened there was I put too much weight and I couldn't do the full 10 reps. I failed at 5, did a drop set, and actually got myself a better workout a little bit. It comes down to squeezing, contracting, and actually feeling the muscle that it's working with the right exercise, with the right form. Because if we're just here moving weight, after maybe a month or so, once we make those beginner gains, the same exercise is not gonna work anymore. And that's why you see people coming to the gym for years and they look the same, because they train, but they're not training effectively. You know, they're just here moving weight mindlessly. And we wanna avoid that at all costs. Woo! That's it. That's it. Now moving on to the next exercise, we are doing cable upright row. So basically the same thing that I was doing with the barbell. However, now we're going to increase the time under tension and intensity with the cable, because the primary muscle group that we're trying to hit are the front delt and the side delt. And here's how that looks. So we want to grab this bar to be somewhere close, not too far, but a little bit closer, so we can get a better contraction when we bring it up. So we want to stand close to the machine right here, to the cable, and row in front of us. So we don't want to bring the weight here like that, like I see many people do. That doesn't train anything. We want to lift with our elbows. My elbows are attached from the ceiling with hooks and then just being pulled. My forearms and hands are there just to hold the bar. Everything has to do with the elbows. This is the movement right here. We're gonna do 3 sets of 15 on this one. And then moving on to rear delts. Moving on to the reverse fly. This exercise targets the rear delts. And then from here, we'll be doing 20 reps, squeeze and contract and really focus on engaging that rear delt. And then after, I have these 2 dumbbells right here. I'll be doing a bent over row reverse fly superset. It's a failure, either 10 reps or failure. And that's basically gonna be just moving my arm, not pulling my scapula in, but just like this. And as you can see, the rear delt is being flexed. So this is what we want right there. I'm flexing this muscle. And ultimately we want to fucking just destroy the rear delts. That's something that everybody lacks, especially me in my physique. So I want to grow them, get them big. Let's fucking blast this set. Before I get started, one thing that I see most people get wrong is the form on rear delts. So here's something that I've learned, picked up along the way. Years of training the wrong way, I finally learned how to do it the right way. So what we want to do is imagine we're riding a motorcycle or a bicycle and we're getting this position right here. Butt out, chest out, and we're leaning forward. So now from here, we want to make sure the seat is correct. We want our shoulders to be leveled with our palm. So we don't want to be sitting like this doing rear delts or like that. We want to be level. So now from this position, we want to retract the scapula. We want to pinch back here. Then from this pinch, now we open up. Oh yeah, that was that. So those flex sets are very important, especially in the beginning stages of an exercise, that I want to force as much blood as I can in that muscle, therefore engaging way more mind-muscle connection, making that connection. So now for the next set, I'll be able to squeeze better, I'll be able to work out better. The sets will be more effective, the reps will be more effective. And that's how we yield most amount of results. The more muscle fibers we can break down, which determines the amount of mind-muscle connection we have. Otherwise, we're just doing the movement, but we're not training the muscle back there. We're using triceps, we're using back, we're using other muscle groups. We want to specifically target the correct muscle group every single rep. We're gonna do 2 warm-up sets. We're gonna do an entire warm-up workout to develop that mind-muscle connection so we can stimulate and grow the right muscle groups. We have to ask ourselves, after every single fucking set, did it hurt? Did it burn? And if it sucked? Only if the answer is yes to all 3, it was a complete set. If it didn't hurt, we didn't go hard enough. If it didn't burn, not enough mind-muscle connection. And if it didn't suck, we didn't break down any muscle fibers. Let's say we do a set of 15. The first 11 reps, when they're easy, they don't mean shit. The first 11 reps are a warm-up for the last 4 reps that we're gonna do. Because when it starts to hurt and it sucks and it's painful and we have to do 5 more, that's when the muscle fibers are breaking down. That's why it fucking hurts and it burns. That's the success. And most people, they stop at that point. And they're like, oh, I just did a great set. No, you didn't. You were about to do a great set, but you stopped right before the great set. We want the pain, we want the suffering at the highest possible level because that's what yields success. That's what yields results. We're breaking down muscle that's supposed to fucking hurt. It's a notification that we're fucking training correctly. Without it, you're staying the same, you're looking the same. Around these fucking parts, one thing is for sure, that we're after that pain. So as we're moving on to rear delt cable pulls. And then again, we're gonna superset them with a back fly targeting the rear delt. I just want maximum pain in my rear delts, so the more muscle fibers I can break down, the more they can recover, grow, get bigger, right? And plus it's a small muscle, so I just want to pump as much blood as I can into it. So in this movement right here, the way that I know I'm doing it properly is every time I'm pulling in my face, I want this metal bar, this metal piece to be at my eyesight or over. And what that allows me to do is basically go into a double bicep. That's essentially what I'm doing. So when I'm pulling here into a double bicep, squeezing this rear delt right here, engaging it as much as I can. So double bicep, double bicep. So here's how that looks. So for this exercise, we're gonna do 3 sets of 15, and we're gonna superset to failure. 10 reps or failure with dumbbells. Woo! Yeah, that was a set of my life. Oh yeah. They're popping already. All right. We're working, baby. Drop set. Woo! And now fucking superset. All right, let's go. And a flex set. And we're done with rear delts. Now moving on to traps. It's gonna be my last exercise. I have 4 sets of traps, and after that I'm on to round 2. Cardio this morning is gonna be stairs, 35 minutes. And what I like to do is get my fat burner in. So taking a fat burner here. Now, my asthma medication, aka Clen. This is a fat burner, opens up my lungs, speeds up blood flow. It's like running a marathon. The amount of oxygen and blood I get in the system moving, it's like running a marathon while standing still, right? So it increases heart rate, and ultimately it increases the amount of calories I burn, yields fat loss, right? So that's what we want to do this right before cardio. So we take about 0.2 here. Pretty much it. So now we'll just metabolize this. We'll do a few sets here. By the time it kicks in, I'll be on the Stair Master, getting the fuck after it. All right, moving on to shrugs, dumbbell shrugs. So right here, I have the weight set up, and I use wrist wraps because I don't want to focus on holding the weight. I want to focus my mind onto squeezing the traps. And if I'm not focused, I won't be able to achieve the mind-muscle connection and the stimulus in my trap as much as I can, because I'll be worried about the weight slipping out of my fingers. So that's why I like to use traps. And what I notice is I like to grab the weight closer to the front rather than in the middle, like that. Same thing on this side. Twist it. There we go. So now the dumbbell is one with my hand. One more. Oh yeah, that was it. That was it. Oh yeah. So the reason why we want the traps to be big is so when I do a lat spread like this, my traps need to stick out way more, so it creates that oval shape, like an oval dish around me, with the lats completing this circle here. So as you can see, when I do this, my lats are overpowering a little bit against my traps. So I want to bring my traps about like a 1/4 inch to an inch, so I can bring up that oval look. That's what gives a very good aesthetic on stage. So we just wrapped up the workout. The last workout was 4 sets of shrugs. Now from here, moving on to the Stair Master, the medieval torture device here. I have 35 minutes Stair Master. I swear to God, this thing is like a new level. I've never done it before. My coach just put me on it, and it fucking sucks, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The difficulty that I have to suffer through for 35 minutes, that's what builds me. If I could do it over and over and over again for an extended period of time, it will eventually become easy, and that's what we're after. First, what I need to do though is warm up my quads. So I need to just put blood in here, do sort of mobility, and then get on this thing. Putting my hair in a fucking bun like a hippie. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I find it necessary, so I do it. The goal of this is just to burn out any sort of energy I have left from the food I had this morning, and then after that, attack the fat. So, and also this cardio drink right here, all the supplements that I have, a lot of it is amino acids, and that will prevent any sort of muscle burn. So if the body wants to burn muscle instead of glycogen and fat, it's going to burn the amino acids I provided, and then ultimately do that for an extended period of time until it starts burning the fat, right? So that's why cardio drinks are a necessity. All my clients will do it because we want to retain all the muscle and burn all the fat. This is pretty much for this workout, and I'll see you guys back at the house. Okay, and it's supplement time. Let's finally talk about supplements. A lot of these supplements are naturally found in the body. So when I work out a lot and exert my body under so much pressure, the body uses the natural production of these supplements. So I need to make sure that I replenish them so I can continually build muscle and recover, because I'm pushing myself at all extremes, going balls to the walls at the gym. And the last thing I want to do is find myself lacking amino acids, lacking these other things that are required for muscle protein synthesis, for recovery, joint support, and so on and so forth. So I want to make sure that my body is a unit. So now anything I throw at it, it can handle it like a freaking champ and deliver every single time. But I digress. Most of my clients use these supplements. Obviously, I custom tailor my supplements to fit my clients' needs, not just give them everything. So first, the number one thing that I like to use is acetyl L-carnitine. This is one of my favorite supplements. So here's what it stands for. I wrote some of this shit down so I can fit it all nicely condensed into a fucking YouTube video, okay? So I don't speak out of my ass. Acetyl L-carnitine is an amino acid that's occurring in our body. The sole purpose of this supplement is to help the body shuttle fat cells from where they are stored to be used for energy. It also helps with brain clarity and helps the brain use fat for energy rather than just carbohydrates. Brain runs on carbs. Well, when you take this, it also runs on fats. L-citrulline. So this is known in the bodybuilding community as the pump product, right? So it dilates blood vessels, blood travels easier, whatever the case may be. But I have a little bit more insight here. L-citrulline is an amino acid found in the body, obviously. The purpose of this supplement is to decrease the muscle burn for energy. It increases blood flow in the body and muscles, resulting in better pumps. And it also helps lowering blood pressure, which I have higher blood pressure since I'm taking steroids, right? So this will help with that. Moving on to either flavored BCAAs or unflavored BCAAs. I have both depending on the The drinks that I make, some of them need flavored, some of them need unflavored. BCAAs are branched chain amino acids. We have 9 essential amino acids, right, that the body doesn't produce, so we need to get them from food, for protein, from like chicken, basically anything that has protein. The BCAAs contains 3 of the 9 essential amino acids, and the goal is to promote a protein called mTOR, which stimulates muscle protein synthesis. So it helps with getting bigger and, as a result, recovering quicker from workouts. EAAs. So this, in my opinion, is way better than BCAAs because the EAAs contain all 9 amino acids, which are essential for building. You need all 9 to build muscle, right? This, assuming you have perfect nutrition, which I do, you can use the 3 amino acids to stimulate mTOR, which is the only amino acid is leucine that stimulates mTOR, the protein mTOR, which then stimulates muscle protein synthesis, which then helps us get bigger, right? But if you have shitty nutrition, like most motherfuckers, I would recommend EAAs. If you have perfect nutrition, you can get away with this. I like to use both because I'm a savage and that's how I roll. L-glutamine. This is what our muscles are made out of, like 60% of it. It's the most common found amino acid in the body. Glutamine promotes gut health, digestion, supports brain health, it promotes muscle growth, and it decreases muscle wasting. So I take about 10 grams of glutamine every single day. All right, now moving on to organic astragalus. Astragalus root is very good for just overall health of the liver and the kidneys, especially when somebody like me is taking steroids. We definitely need this, right? So the sole purpose of this, I don't even know how to fucking pronounce this. Organic
astragalus.
Astragalus. That's the best that I can do. So this supplement is lowering inflammation in the kidneys and increases filtration, lowering serum creatinine and cysteine C levels. These are blood markers that determine health. I need this for my kidneys and for my liver to function properly because I'm damaging it with the compounds that I'm taking. Glucosamine, which is triple strength. So glucosamine, chondroitin, MSM, and turmeric. The main reason I take this supplement is for sustaining joint integrity. It increases the strength, flexibility, and lubrication in my ligaments, tendons, and cartilage, with a goal to minimize any sort of minor tweaks or injuries that can set me back weeks. If I have small little shoulder thing, I can't train back, I can't train chest, certainly can't train shoulders. The only thing I could probably do is like a little bit of arms and legs. You could see the problem there. Yohimbine or yohimbine HCl. This is a fat burner used primarily for targeting stubborn fat, hip fat, lower ab fat, oblique, and leg fat, or thigh fat, I would say. It also suppresses appetite, and if you use it pre-workout, it provides energy. And this is why I take this supplement. Take it on an empty stomach every morning, right before cardio, melts fat. And acetyl L-cysteine, this supplement right here, one of the best supplements for promoting healthy kidney and liver enzymes and just regulating inflammation and all that other stuff. So what I've written down here is for NAC. This is an amino acid that has a ton of benefits. However, the 4 reasons why I take it every day is for liver, kidney, lungs, and insulin resistance. Because of my oral compounds, my organs are being damaged, so I want to give my organs the most amount of support to minimize and repair the damage being done. CLA, so this is like a sort of a dietary supplement, right? I'm not really sure what it is. Very limited information on this out there, but my coach has me taking it, so I'm taking it. Conjugated linoleic acid. So it's essentially a fatty acid like omega-6 that burns fat. It increases thermogenic effects in the body and just melts fat. That's what it comes down to. Fish oil omega-3. Everybody knows omega-3 is the healthiest thing you could probably take, especially somebody who's in competition prep and I need my immune system, my metabolism, and everything else about my body to be at peak performance. So I'll be taking a lot of these. The primary benefits of omega-3s are healthy heart and skin, increase weight loss, reduces liver fat, improves joint and bone health, brain development, and also strengthens the immune system. Biotin. So biotin helps convert fats and carbohydrates into energy. That's one primary function, but it's mostly known for, which is why I take it, for its role in the health of my hair, skin, and nails. You know, steroids promote hair loss. I need to take stuff for hair loss. Fiber. Psyllium husk. I love this thing. It helps so much. It helps all my clients. I have everybody on this shit. Everybody takes it. Most of them love it. This is a fiber blend that helps with fat loss. It helps with keeping us irregular in the bathroom, obviously. And also, this particular kind of fiber alters how we store fat. So instead of storing fat just here in the least mobile area where the body wants to store fat the most, it will store fat evenly around the body, imagine taking all the stubborn stored fat in one place and dividing it evenly around the body. And lastly, this is I take before bed, sometimes two, I take magnesium. This supplement helps with bone and heart health, muscle relaxation, regulates blood pressure, and helps with sleep and overall muscle recovery. I take other stuff, but these are the main things, and also multivitamin, one a day. It's a multivitamin, it doesn't need any explanation. These are the most of the things that I take every single day that can be beneficial to you, that maybe you could take, and that I put most of my clients on. When we go through a body change, mess around with the diet, when we mess around with training, we want to make sure that our body has a peak level of health and performance, because we're taking out nutrients, we're swapping things around, so we want to make sure that our body is functioning at tip-top level so it can produce the most amount of results. And I have clients that don't take these supplements, which is fine. They don't want to pay for them, and I'm okay with that. You know, it's not mandatory. However, they come up to me after and they say, "Oh, this hurts. Well, I can't do this. Well, I can't do that." And I'm like, "Well, remember those supplements that I was telling you about? Yeah, get them." They get them after like a couple of days. I'm like, "Does it still hurt? Does it do this? Does it?" No, it doesn't. Well, that's why we do these supplements, because I want you to be healthy. I want you to be able to perform great at the gym, because the better we perform at the gym, the higher the results. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you found it helpful, informative, and most of all, entertaining, because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Me entertaining you, but in reality, I'm just documenting the process. Hope you found the workouts helpful. Some of the supplements, I hope you learned something. That's going to do it for 8 weeks out recap. And I'll be seeing you guys next week with a new video from 7 weeks out, and see the changes that are coming. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it, as you can tell. It's currently 9:05 and I'm dead tired. It's 30 minutes past my bedtime. I still have some work to do here. I'll be hitting the sack for sure. Have a lovely day, and see you next week. And it's a hyperextension, basically targeting the lower back. First we do a warm-up, and then from there we get into it.